Hello everyone, it's Dylan from Yugioh Everything, and welcome back to another Yu-Gi-Oh! VRains episode summary discussion. We have just gotten, it's actually 6:21 in the morning where I am recording this. Within the last hour, these summaries have dropped. A huge thank you to DMC for translating, and we have the summaries for episode 98. 99, 100, and 101. Man, I love when we get full episode summaries for the entire month. For really the most of the beginning parts of VRains, we would only get the first two summaries for like the 7th and the 14th, like the first half of the month, and then we'd have to wait to go deeper into the month for the later summaries to trickle in for the episodes later in that month. So it is cool when in the beginning of the month we do get the summaries for the entire month, and that has happened, I believe, back-to-back months now. I think it happened in March as well. So really, really awesome stuff, guys. So we have a lot to go over, and if you do not want any spoilers, now is your chance to click off this video. 3, 2, 1, let's begin. So just as a reminder, episode 97 is the next episode. We know from the preview and from the summary and from the cast list and all that good stuff that it will be the second part of the Revolver and Lightning duel. Episode 98. An AI that has crosses the line. I'd imagine it's a little typo there, and it's supposed to be an AI that has crossed the line. And this means that the Lightning Revolver duel is actually going to be a three-parter, the first three-parter in a long time. Lightning uses Jin as a hostage to rattle Revolver. However, Bowman, who is very disappointed in Lightning's actions, decides to step in. Now that his hostage-taking stratagem has failed, Lightning reveals a shocking truth about Dr. Kogami to Revolver. Really, really interesting, and that will be the final part of what's going to be a 3-episode duel between Revolver and Lightning. The first episode, 96, which just aired on Wednesday, I thought was an amazing start to this duel, so I cannot wait. It's going to play out. A little surprised that Lightning is using Jin as a hostage as opposed to Spectre. Thought there was a bit of foreshadowing there when Lightning said even the weak have their uses. I thought that was going to come full circle in this episode, in this duel, when Lightning, we knew he was going to use an underhanded tactic from the 97 summary, and I thought it would have been along the lines of Spectre as opposed to Jin. So that's pretty interesting. Not surprised at all that Bowman is stepping in. I'm actually glad that Bowman is stepping in. When Windy tried to pretty much destroy Soulburner and kill Soulburner, and Flame ended up getting killed because of it, Bowman even apologized to Soulburner and said, look, I'm sorry I couldn't do more. When Lightning was tossing around Playmaker's unconscious body, Bowman even said, Lightning, stop, this isn't how we're going to do things. Bowman clearly wants to do things the right way, or at least his right way, and the right way in his eyes is through honorable victory. And Bowman does have a little bit of honor to him, even though he is a villain, even though he is an antagonist. I give him that. He's got way more honor than most villains do. When I think of the Vectors, when I think of the Mareks, and even the Lightnings in this case, the more sadistic and malicious villains, Bowman doesn't really have that streak. So when Lightning tries to use Jin, I imagine he's going to say, if you defeat me, I'm going to kill Jin. Or maybe he was doing what he did to get Shoichi into the VRains, where he's actually going to release Jin. I remember when Yami Bakura, and mainly Yami Marek's idea, was to release Bakura when the Pharaoh was dueling him in Battle City, in the quarterfinals of Battle City, and Bakura was very injured, he was very hurt, and obviously, Yugi views Bakura as a friend, so it was the decision, do I attack with Slifer, or basically lose the duel and let Bakura win? Eventually, Yami Bakura still stepped in, because he had, deeper plans than what Yami Marek was seeing, and he still needed the vessel, and so he stepped in, and Yugi ended up attacking Yami Bakura. Bakura survived the attack, so I wonder if it will be something similar to this, where Lightning is going to maybe even release Jin for the time being. Jin's going to be very obviously confused and frightened, and will Revolver deliver a final blow to Lightning? It'll be very interesting to see how he uses Jin as a hostage, but I'm not at all surprised that Bowman is stepping in. The shocking truth about Kogami, I'm not really sure what that could be, but let's just go to the next summaries, and I'm going to try to figure out how this all makes sense. Episode 99, The Door to the New World. Bearing the hopes and wishes of his allies, Playmaker faces off against Bowman. Meanwhile, something abnormal happens to the people who were trapped in Link VRains, and they start to fall unconscious. Bowman then creates a powerful data storm and summons forth a terrifying monster. Episode 100, A Twisted Utopia. Bowman uses the consciousness of the people trapped in Link VRains to create a data storm and summons forth a powerful Hydra Drive monster. Playmaker is completely helpless before Bowman. Seeing this, the three Knights of Hanoi decide to take action. Episode 101, faith in one's instinct. Bowman set up something called a neuron link to use the consciousness of humans to create his data storm. The three knights, Akira, and Ghost Girl put their lives on the line in an effort to destroy this neuron link. They succeeded, but Bowman then started to repair the neuron link right afterward, leaving Playmaker in despair, ... Kind of a dramatic, really dramatic summary for 101. And I feel like there's so much happening in 101. That last line seems kind of strange to me. Right, they succeed to destroy the link. Bowman starts repairing it, and then Playmaker's in despair. I don't know. It's just a weirdly worded line. But those are the summaries for the next 4 episodes after this one coming up of 97 for Yu-Gi-Oh! VRains. Now, the final duel. I mean, this has to be the final duel of the arc. Right, it has to be. Playmaker versus Bowman round 4, which I'm going to get into in a little bit because it's the one duel that I was hoping we wouldn't get, or we would get some kind of variation on, whether it was Playmaker and Revolver versus Bowman, or Playmaker even versus Lightning and Bowman, or Playmaker versus Lightning. I was hoping we'd get some sort of variation on it, but it does look like it's going to be round 4. The duel is being written by Hirota Mitsutaka, not Shin Yoshida. Shin Yoshida is writing, obviously, the duel going on now between Lightning and Revolver. Now, just for the record, Hirota has written the last 3 duels he's written in chronological order, at least, unless I'm wrong about this, at least to my knowledge. He wrote Windy versus Soulburner, he wrote Playmaker versus Go, the most recent one, and he wrote Revolver versus Windy. So he's written both of Windy's duels, which both of Windy's duels I thought were really well done. Windy versus Soulburner was entertaining, Revolver versus Windy with the first synchro was entertaining. So this is a very, well-versed, well-equipped scriptwriter, but I am surprised that Shin Yoshida is not tackling what I am going to be assuming is the end of this arc and the final duel, unless there's some shock where Bowman ends up winning. It's funny because I was thinking, of ways that this wouldn't be the end of the arc if it was Playmaker versus Bowman. And I thought, well, maybe Bowman will escape, Playmaker will leave the VRains, and they'll have to, regroup as a team. And then I'm like, yeah, but who does he even regroup with? Is he going to regroup with Faust, Gnome, and Vira? Is that going to be the new dream team? And, Ghost Girl and Akira? Well, my concerns about that are seemingly dead because these 5 are going to be getting involved, and I wouldn't shock me at all if these 3 end up sacrificing themselves, at least for the time being. I put quotes around sacrificing themselves. Faust, Gnome, Vira, Akira, Ghost Girl to destroy the neuron link. So they basically sacrifice themselves, they destroy the neuron link, Bowman starts preparing it. I don't know what the hell is going on here because I have no idea what a neuron link is going to be. But remember, the final duel of Season 1, Revolver and Playmaker, we saw the first extra link. Now, we knew what an extra link was because that was advertised to us at the very start of the show and just in the real world, in the card game and everything. But what a neuron link is, I have no idea. I'm excited to see it. But let me get on to Playmaker and Bowman round 4. Which is something that I was hoping they wouldn't do. I was hoping they wouldn't go this route. I am going to defend it, though, to a degree. Because I will say that even though it kind of sucks seeing 2 characters duel each other 4 times in 50 episodes, at least they've done it in a way where you can almost view this as a rematch to the 3rd duel. And what I mean by that is, the first time these 2 versed each other, Bowman had no idea what was going on. It was Bowman's introductory duel, so we didn't even know anything about Bowman. Playmaker wins. The second time they duel each other, Bowman has these false memories that he is actually Yusaku, or he was Yusaku, and they got switched and he was stuck in the virtual world, yada yada yada. So, we have really only seen the true Bowman duel Playmaker once, and that was a draw. So when you look at it that way, it's not too bad, because since Bowman has become his final form, let's see what he's done. He drew against Playmaker, which is extremely impressive, a show where it seems like Playmaker is never going to lose, unfortunately. He defeated Blue Maiden and Aqua. He defeated Soulburner and Flame. He has been actually a really, really terrifying force since finally completing his form. So, from that perspective, it's really not too bad. I still wish that, maybe one of those first Bowman and Playmaker duels was Playmaker versus Haru instead of Playmaker versus Bowman, but I am just going to kind of view this as a rematch to the last time they dueled, because that was the first time that we knew what Bowman actually was and that he knew what he actually was. It's not like Judai versus Manjome 7 times in GX, where Manjome's character is not going through at least a crisis in the sense that he doesn't even know who he is, and we as a viewer don't know who he is, even though sure, he changed maybe personalities, he changed decks quite a bit, which did keep those duels fresh. He was still Chaz, he was still Manjome, and Jaden was still Jaden, he was still Judai. So at least when you look at it from that perspective, it's not horrible. The last thing that I want to talk about real quick, and then, of course, I cannot wait to hear from you guys, is what's going to happen in this Revolver and Lightning duel. Going back to that last line, Lightning's stratagem fails, and he reveals a shocking truth about Kogami to Revolver. I don't know what this truth can be. I don't know if it's going to be something like, your dad never loved you, or your dad's still alive. It could be something along those lines, where maybe his dad is still alive, or he has a way to revive Revolver's father. Maybe. But it seems that no matter what happens, both of these characters are going to lose. It seems like Lightning is going to be absorbed into Bowman. It seems like Revolver is going to either be unconscious or killed off because he has no effect on the next 3 summaries. They both just disappear, and that's why I find it so fascinating. So maybe they're going to draw. Maybe it will end in a no result of some sort, where both of these characters get killed, where Lightning becomes one with Bowman and Revolver just fades into the VRains like, all the other characters, like Soulburner and Blue Maiden and Haru and all the other characters have. I'm so fascinated, and this is why I love reading summaries. Sometimes, and I know I respect people who don't want to read them because they'd rather go in blind, completely respect it, but for me, it just teases so much, and it gets me so excited about everything that's going to happen, and usually it doesn't reveal the specifics that make an episode great, that make an episode memorable, and I literally have no idea, even after reading these next 5 summaries, including the 97 one, how the Lightning and Revolver duel is going to end. It's going to be so fascinating. But guys, that's going to be a 3-parter. Bowman Playmaker is going to be a 3-parter. I still truly believe that we are at the end of this arc. We have no new news on the season ending or the arcs ending, but if we ever get any news on that in maybe V-Jump, which would be around like April 16th, 17th, of course I'll do a video covering it. Tomorrow on Sunday, I am going to have a couple of my friends on, and we are going to be discussing these summaries a little more in depth, so hopefully you do check out that video as well. I'm excited to hear their reactions, their initial reactions, because they don't read the summaries until I start recording. And if you are interested in more Yu-Gi-Oh! VRains talk, if you're not burned out, I do a live stream talking Yu-Gi-Oh! Into the VRains, 3 p.m. Eastern Time every Saturday. We will be live today as well, and so hopefully you guys do check that out if you are interested. We usually don't talk about spoilers on there out of respect for people who do not want to know about spoilers, so probably won't mention these summaries too much, but you will hear my friends' reactions and the rest of the team's reactions to these summaries in a more in-depth video tomorrow. So thank you all so much for watching. Please leave all your thoughts on these really fascinating summaries down below in the comment section. I cannot wait to hear all your thoughts on this. A special thank you to my Platinum tier patrons, Alexa Baker, Glen McGookin, Jorge Carrillo, James Rose, Omni Lord, Samuel Stark, Thomas Adderley, Horace Maye, and Amber Crystal, and to my Diamond tier patrons, Bouldergeist and Jesse Wood, and to my Egyptian God tier patrons, Syn Cloud and Chris Swan. A huge thank you to everyone who supports me on Patreon. Cannot tell you how much it helps me out, and a huge thank you to everyone who just watches these videos, because without you guys, I would not be able to do this. I will talk to you all down below. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope you have an amazing day.